This April, head to South Australia to run the McLaren Vale Marathon. Hosted at Richard Hamilton Wines, you can look forward to some fast racing over scenic road courses through the heart of South Australia's premier wine region. The marathon will headline a weekend of running, supported by a half marathon, 10k and 5k. If you're looking for a good reason to visit South Australia, this is it.
Pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place?
Welcome to episode number 274 of the Inside Running Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another week. Big show coming at you. The Australian team announced today for the World Cross Country Championship, so we'll be discussing that. Moose had a big week of training, got a list of question, a lot of results to get through, some fast times over in New Zealand and the USA. So stick with us for the next 80, 90 minutes and we'll get you through a run if that's what you're about to do. Welcome to my co-host, the 214 man down in Anglesea, Julian Spence. Welcome to you this week.
Thank you, mate.
How you going?
For having me.
Going well?
Going well, yeah. I'm a month out from a marathon, getting pretty tired. Even though the mileage isn't high, it's all starting to creep up, and I'm feeling like I used to a degree. I'm just still adjusting to the miles at the moment.
Okay. Are you getting excited? Nervous? What's the emotion you're feeling 4 weeks out?
I'm getting more ambitious, that's for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'm getting a little bit curious as to how it's going to play out off this different preparation. They're probably the two main things. I'm not nervous in any way, and I'm not anxious about it, but probably more just, I'm just getting a little bit, like, it's hard to hold the competitive juices back now that we're getting closer.
We'll talk about it more in your weekly recap. My other co-host, the 217 man, based in Canberra, Bradley Croker. Welcome to you this week.
Thanks, Brady. How you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Missing a bit of skin on here, Croaks, over the weekend. Hope you're feeling better today.
And I'll lose a toenail in the next few weeks, I suspect.
Okay, looking forward to hearing about that as well in your weekly recap. But we might start with you because we started with Moose the last couple of weeks, so take us through, Croaks, Monday through to Sunday.
Yeah, okay, so I had a decent week, only 70, so I ran every day except Sunday. That was largely because of what happened on Saturday, but also I'd run 9 days straight up until the Saturday, so I thought I was due just for a day off. So Monday, got out for 45 minutes at 4:16s in the afternoon, felt pretty good on that run, and then joined the group down at the horse track on Tuesday afternoon for a session. Most of the squad were doing a park run on the Saturday, so it was just a bit of a tune-up session of 5 2-minute reps off 75 seconds rest at about sort of 5k pace, 2.5 minutes rest after the last 2-minute rep, and then 5 times 1 minute reps off 1 minute rest, slightly faster, so sort of more like probably 3k or even a touch quicker than 3k. The positive about this one was I ran relatively quick, probably too quick for where my current fitness is, but my leg, I didn't feel any pain while I was running, and I pulled up reasonably well afterwards. So ran average 3:15s or kilometre pace for the 2-minute reps, which was a bit of a progression. Like the first rep was like 3:20, a few 3:17s, and then sort of closer to 3:10 by the end, and then 2:55s. For the 1 minute rep. So definitely harder than probably I should have been running given what I've recently been doing. But yeah, I said leg pulled up well. Did have some DOMs in my calves for the next, pretty much 3-4 days. So Wednesday I just did 45 minutes. I was going to do originally before the session, I was planning to do an hour on Wednesday, but I figured I'd just swap Thursday and Wednesday around. So just 45 minutes at 420s. Then I did an hour on Thursday, 421s. Another 45 minutes on Friday at 427s. And then, went down to parkrun on the Saturday. I wasn't exactly sure. I knew I wasn't going to race it. I just wanted to do it as a solid tempo, but not knowing what shape I was in. I didn't even know what sort of tempo pace would be. I thought somewhere around 17:30 would be a good hit out because it was pretty hot by the time we started. So anyway, I lined up. Like, I wasn't right on the front row because I knew there was a few guys there that were planning to run faster than me, and it was almost like a way of me to not like bury myself, like wanting to do a tempo. So lining up, the guy goes, on your marks, get set, go. And so the guy in front of me, like, you assume that whoever's on the front line is going to at least roll off the start. He would have gone out at 6-minute kilometre pace. And for some context, there was over 350 people at this park run, and everyone's lined up on a 2.5 metre wide bike path. And so going out, you just expect guys to roll out faster than that on the front line. Anyway, so I ran up the back of him and then tried to go around him and clipped. I either got clipped from behind or I clipped somebody in front of me. But next thing I know, I'm pretty much like full Superman position, just like flat on the ground. Got up, had graze on my left hand and then around my elbow on the right, and my big toe on my left had obviously just like gone thump straight into the ground. So my toe was throbbing. Jumped back up, checked the damage. About 500 meters in, I'm like, do I even want to like do this now? But yeah, rolled around. I ended up running about 17 minutes for the 5K loop. Felt pretty good, like doing it. If anything, like the longer it went, the better I felt. But I was a bit frustrated. I had a bit of a chat to the race director afterwards, and he said, yeah, we're aware of it. And like that sort of annoyed me a little bit, that you're aware of a guy. So for context, the guy that was on the front line who I ran up the back of, he finished last or second last in an hour and 3 minutes. And it's just dangerous when you've got 350 people. Pretty much all of them were going faster than him that day, being on the start line. So anyway, that was my park run experience. And then, I woke up on Sunday and my toe was actually pretty sore. And I would have run, but I just didn't want to go out and then sort of favour it and run a little bit different and just have something else go wrong. So I ended up just taking Sunday off. So it was, 70, how many Ks for the week? 72, 2 sessions. So the positive is that my calf or my shin, it's not 100%, but it's managing.
Drama down at Yerrabee Pond Moose. I've heard about it a lot of times over the years. He was fuming Saturday Arvo too, wasn't he?
Tell you what, imagine the spray this bloke's copped when Croaks has got to his feet.
You think you're 217, man, you'd put, what did you run for 1500, 345 or something? Put yourself on the front line, Croaks. Back yourself. The point is, this guy took an hour and 3 minutes.
Hey, not his day.
Parkrun's for everyone though, Croaks. He's got just as much right to be on the front line as you do.
I know it's for everyone, but parkrun don't have an issue sending out, emails or messages about, kids on bikes or people with dogs or prams. Like, this is just as dangerous. So anyway,
they also have been playing up the fastest records and stuff lately. So they do like to see the fast stuff. And they're always given the seeded times, like age grade times. We still talk about the fast stuff, Brady.
Yeah, we do. Yep. Oh, I'm just saying it. Like, there's no and they're never going to have like an area at the front that you have to be under 20 minutes to stand in. No, but they are relying on that self-seeding to be done correctly, and they're putting a lot of responsibility, I guess, in the participants' hands to get it right. And on this stage, that person hasn't got it right, and you probably haven't got it right too, because I would have had you right on the front.
But the point is, but that guy's got it completely wrong. Yeah. But it's not just me. Yes, okay, I should have been on the front row.
Yeah.
But there's
still
still
80.
There's still 80 guys running under 22 minutes for 5K. Which is still moving okay compared to a guy that's taking 63 minutes.
Yeah, someone else would have had the same issue that you had.
And then, and look, I know everyone that is there at parkrun, they're volunteers, so you don't want to have a go at them. But when you go to the race director afterwards and he says, yeah, we're aware of that person. Well, if you're aware of the person and you saw him on the front line, because the race director's like, oh, I'm glad you came up because I did see you go down. And it's like, well, if you are aware of that guy, surely you go and tap him on the shoulder and say, mate, we know that you're going to take an hour to do this. Go to the back.
Yeah, bit of duty of care for the participants.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a listener, mate. Maybe he'll get the message straight from you.
Hopefully. Well, actually, Gungahlin Parkrun did send a message out that afternoon about, self-seating and that sort of thing. But I'm guessing that guy's probably not going to read it.
I still don't know how they police it, though. Because then what happens if he cracks it?
It's just common sense.
Yeah, I know, it is, yeah.
What happens if he cracks it, then they give him his money back?
Yeah.
That's what they'll do. Fucking hell. The entitlement. I'm rocking up to a free fucking parkrun and someone's asked me to step off the front line.
You see it, Moose?
Have a little hissy fit at this free fucking event where the volunteers are. No, so I think it's very fair to say, hey, look, if you're not going to go quicker than 20 minutes, probably don't be in the first 5 lines, 4 lines, whatever. That's fair enough.
I would prefer a guy to be on the front line that goes out like free beer for the first 300 and then slows down. But I was just not, and that's the thing. If I was a regular at parkrun, I'd probably know this guy and go, okay, I need to basically give him a wide berth. But I don't go down there that often, so I didn't know. I thought he was one of those guys that would just go out, sprint the first couple of 100 meters, which is safer than rolling out at 6-minute Ks when everybody's expecting to just roll off the start line a fair bit quicker than that. Yeah. Anyway, that was my week. I'm in one piece, just a bit of bark and a toenail. Could have been worse.
It's not a bad run considering you went down. And it was a tempo, 17 minutes. What kind of shape do you reckon you're in for 5K?
16? I reckon 16 probably.
16 flat.
If I rinsed myself, I could probably run 16.
Let's have a look at the pacing. Oh yeah,
he kicked it home at the end. Have a look at that last.
I reckon that first. See, he goes out. Where's the actual fall?
Well, have a look. If you have a look at the pace chart, you'll see for the first 15, 16 seconds, it's pretty much zero.
Oh yeah.
What about at 4.9k though, Moose, when he drops down to 2:49 pace?
Yeah,
bit of mayo on that.
Sees the finish line and his eyes light up. I reckon. There.
I reckon he saw that bloke there. He saw him as he turned the corner and.
No, you know where I saw him.
Director.
I saw him in the last 400 metres of my cool down. You're still out on the course. That's no joke.
Good week, Croaks. Got the Bathurst entry in. You're going to do it. If you can go down and do parkrun. I know you're about the community this year, which has been good to see at parkrun. See you down World Cross Country Trials. See you at the ACT Champs. I think you were there on the weekend. So it only makes sense to see you on the start line at Bathurst Cross Country World Champs. What are we calling them?
I'll be at Bathurst. I won't be on the start line, but I'll be at
Bathurst.
Get
on the start line. What have you got to lose?
Do you know, have a guess what my longest run has been since the 10th of November?
I don't care. It's a 6K cross country race. It's going to take you 20 minutes. Doesn't matter. You're not trying to qualify for the World Champs here, the golden ticket. Right. You're just going around. Just having fun with the boys.
Let's flip it here. If the roles were reversed here, I'm sure you'd be real keen to go and race, given what the last 2 months would look like, or nearly 3 months.
I love racing. I'll jump in there for sure.
Mate, I'll be carrying your bags. I'll be getting you ready. I'll be getting you ready for the golden ticket race, and then I'll have to give you a post-run calf massage because you'll be lining up Saturday afternoon.
Moose will be qualifying Saturday afternoon.
I reckon you're in. I reckon. Yeah. Have you entered yet?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I entered today with you.
All right. I bet it. Did you enter me?
No, I didn't enter you. You were telling me you were entering, so then I thought I better enter as well. Use code Caitlin10 for $8.90 off, I think, which was good.
Caitlin10, yeah. Gets the. Did you use it?
I had Brett 10 in, and then I thought, I like Caitlin Adams more. I'm going to put Caitlin 10 in instead.
Did you know they're running a little competition?
Oh, to see who gets the most.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
No, I didn't know that.
Leaderboard.
To see.
And I think you can use the same code for like spectators that want to go in as well. Get a discount off the spectator pass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Caitlin 10. That's the one we're going with.
Okay. See how many she can get. That's good, Moose. I think you're definitely the favourite because you're weak on Strava. I think it's
I don't think so.
I think it's the most impressive week you've done since you've been back from knee surgery.
Yeah, but that's not a very
Would you agree?
high bar. That's not a high bar.
I ran 16:08 for 5K last week in that triathlon. Might have been a bit over, but it wasn't fast.
I don't care. I reckon you've got the year behind you to get you through the cross country. I don't.
All right.
Both sandbagging here.
Let's hear Let's hear your week, Moose.
I come off Sunday. It was pretty difficult. So sore calves for me. A little bit of sore quad, sort of DOMS from the long downhill that we went on. So just 10K, 46 minutes. And then obviously the backup to Tuesday morning. So the track session it was going to be a hot day. So we got out early, but it was pretty good actually. It was ideal conditions. This is when it wasn't going to be a hot day. It flooded later. It was crazy weather. So at the moment, I drove in, it was beautiful. Sunrise, orange sky, no wind, and only 16 degrees. 100% humidity, so a bit sticky. But it was one of the all-time mornings for running. So our workout was 2K, and we were going at 76s, and then we had 400 meter jog, then we did 12 by 400 it was around 70. There were a couple of 71s, a couple of 69s, and I think we did a 66 maybe for the last one. And then we jogged 400, and then we did 2K at 74s. So I think it was I had my watch, my Coros is on track mode, so I don't get the full split, but pretty sure it would have been about 620, and then all the 400s, and then 610 at the end. So it was what, 2K, 4K, 12 by 4. It was about 8K of work or something. Pretty good session. My calves were cooked at the end, cool down, so tight. I think it's a combination of the long run as well as being on the track, running a higher volume track session. So I've been doing some track work, but not this much volume. So 12, that was more like 9K of work, I reckon.
Yeah. What shoes did you wear?
I wore the Vaporflies for this one.
Yep.
They're definitely a little more calf aggressive than the Rebellions, the Mizuno Rebellion that I have been using. And even just, it's faster paces, it's a longer session, it's on the track, and you're coming off a 35K hilly long run. So they're just getting beat up, and it's better that my calves are getting beat than my knees. So I'll take that. And a good group again. The
Rebellion on the track, you don't feel like it's too poppy?
It could be.
Okay. I haven't got to a track to test it out yet, but I'd still be backing the Vaporfly on the track. I think the Rebellion on the road. Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
The Vaporfly definitely feels closer to the ground, and it feels a little more old school. Even though that sounds ridiculous to say.
I know what you mean though, Moose. Compared to say even an Alpha Fly on the track, your calves are going to be less beat up with an Alpha Fly than they will be from a Vaporfly.
Yeah, I think I do get that too. Yeah. So tomorrow I've got the Saucony Endorphin Elite that I'm going to try. So that's their more performance slated super shoe. Sits above the Endorphin Pro. So I've got a pair of those that I'm going to have a crack at on the track.
Must give you some credit where it's due here. You're starting the workout at 6:33. That's an early start. I can start warm up at 6:33. It's rare that I'm hitting workouts starting at 6:30.
Yeah, we have a good warm up, so we run around the campus, and by the time, it doesn't feel that early when you start the workout.
Yeah, it's good when you get going. It's a beautiful time of the day to work out. It's more so getting out of bed.
Yeah, that's the hard thing.
Yeah,
because I got a half an hour drive to get there as well. It's pretty early morning.
So are you getting up at 5?
Yeah, up at 5 and deal with the dog and that, and then I'm there and ready to go. And some blokes are already they get their warm up in. They don't cool down, so they've got to get to work a bit earlier. So they're there even earlier doing a warm up, a longer warm up. But it's a good workout for me. I was happy with it. I felt really in control, and the last rep got faster, but felt fine. So I got some confidence from it. And then just jogged with Mark. You remember Mark the Campo? Ran for Geelong?
I do.
Back when you would have? Yep.
So I reckon, yeah.
He lives in Bright now, and just down on a little trip. So we ran just around town. Half stepper, real fucking half stepper. Doesn't do workouts much, doesn't do long runs really, so wanted to push it. I wasn't having that. Next day, again, pretty similar, just ran 11K early before work. And then Friday, went to the country champs. So country champs are in Geelong. They started Thursday, ran Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I rocked up Friday morning early to do a workout with Kieran, Jimmy, and Matt. And we got there before it kicked off. Maybe the walks were on, and we just did it on the river. So we're all similar sort of fitness right now. Gunther's been away on his just drinking cocktails and eating buffets on his honeymoon, so he wasn't in great form. So we kind of went off my heart rate. So it was 3 by 10 minutes with 3 minutes jog between. So the first rep was 3:12 pace, and it felt pretty comfy. Then jogged. Next one was again 3:12 pace. Heart rate was getting up there, but still keeping it under threshold. And then the last rep was 3:16, so it slowed down. And perhaps towards the last 2 to 3 minutes, I was over threshold. So I was kind of accumulating by then, and the group had split a little bit. But this is the first Friday that I haven't kind of just run with Ali for a while. So just running my own type of workout, and felt good again. I got some confidence from this. Didn't have pace showing. Haven't really thresholded at that type of pace for a long time. I reckon most of my thresholds have been around 3:20 to 3:25 lately. And so this was, again, just a little bit of evidence that I am getting fitter. A little bit of reinforcement, I guess. So I'm just trying to remember back to when I was running well and doing these workouts around a lake in Ballarat. I think I was probably thresholding 3:8 to 3:10 pace. So this is just a little bit off that.
Could have you done that off 2 minutes, Moose? Or you needed every minute of that 3 minutes?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because when I was in the middle of the jog at the start, I'm like, all right, ready to go. And they're like, no, 3 minutes jog. Okay. And I'd written this workout for Matt to do, and I was going to jump in with him, and I gave him an extra minute because I knew he'd been 10 days not doing anything at all. So I wanted him to have more recovery between his efforts. But the answer is yes, could have done it off 2 minutes.
That's a good sign as well. Because you look at these numbers, I was the same when I saw it Friday. I'm like, I haven't really seen you work at this pace because you've been with Ali most for those second workouts of the week. And then I was actually running with someone, Saturday I think it was, and I was saying, hey, that workout Moose did a bit of a page turner, I reckon. Well, not so much a page turner, more so we just haven't seen you work at that pace yet. And I think when you can do 30 minutes of it, it's pretty good. So then I thought, the next question is, well, could have you done that off shorter recovery, which gives you another indication of your fitness.
Yeah, it would have been a slightly slower if I did it off that, just because, you were always going to have more recovery. You're going to be able to go faster. Thanks for your support there, Brady. I did a long run the next day. I jogged on Saturday, and then I did a long run on Sunday morning. We went out to, I'm still on Brad's Strava here. So we went out to the chocolate factory, and it was going to be a flatter run. A couple of guys are racing Box Hill on Thursday, so we just wanted to keep it flatter, not beat them up too much. Big group, I reckon. I don't know how many showed up, probably 15, 20 maybe. And it just, whenever there's a big group, the pace just goes a bit faster than normal. And because there's no hills, and I reckon the last 10 weeks we've run really hilly routes, as soon as you get a flat long run, you kind of search for the same effort level that you do when you go over hills. And so the pace just started to get going a bit, and it got a bit too hot, to be honest. So the first sort of 10K was fine, but then we, like, at the 9K mark, we're going under 4-minute Ks, and then we kind of stay under there for a long time. Then we go up a decent hill at 4:16 pace, and then that kind of rolled onto the forest road, like onto a road going uphill, 3:48, 3:36, 3:36, 3:40, and that bit me pretty hard, to be honest. Like I got a stitch, and by the time we got back to the car, we went around a loop, dropped a bunch of people off, got a drink, and did another 5K loop. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to slow down a bit. This isn't really, this isn't smart. Like, I don't need to be doing this right now. So the last person that I dropped off was at 28K, and I had the option of probably doing another like 8K easy by myself, or I thought, maybe I'll just chuck the new super shoe that I got, the Endorphin Elite, on and just do a bit of marathon effort stuff, because I've got so curious the last probably 2 weeks as to what marathon pace may be or feel like, that I just couldn't help myself. So I got changed the shoes, chucked this on, and I thought, all right, you'll go 15 minutes out, 15 minutes of just extra running at the end, and then I changed that to about 5K. So it was okay. I mean, I dropped down 3:20, 21, 26, 24, 23. I didn't have my heart rate monitor on at this time, and I don't trust the wristwatch. It just measures way too high, because even today on my jog it was measuring ridiculously high. So I don't trust it. I took the heart rate off because of the stitch. I felt like it was pushing a bit too hard on my diaphragm.
So only got you at 166 moose for the last 5K.
Maybe average, but it was high at the end, like, because I had
up to 185.
Yeah, and there's no way it was at 185. Like, I was running along fine.
It's a pretty straight line. It looks pretty good.
Look at all the spikes.
Is it the blue line or the red line?
The red line.
That looks pretty good when you just click on the 5K at the end.
Yeah, but these aren't accurate. So today I went up a hill. It said I was going 180 heart rate, just jogging today.
Yeah, I know they're not accurate. I thought that was pretty. That looked accurate though compared to what they usually look like.
Yeah, I don't know, because today's run was not accurate, and today's run made me a lot happier to see that, given I was a bit worried about this heart rate yesterday, because it didn't feel that hard at all. Anyway, I got through.
How many of the group reckon listened to Moose on the Loose last week, Moose, and rocked up on Sunday and went, you know what?
Let's push it.
We're going to put a bit of hurt on this morning.
Well, I'm not one to back down from a bit of pace pushing on the long run. And there was one bloke, I've got to give him a lot of credit. So at the start he got introduced, half introduced, like Liam, another guy, goes, oh, these are my two mates, Josh, Jacob, and someone else. I'm like, righto. And one of them was like, oh, Jacob's 16, is his first long run, he's going 20K. Watto coaches him, Graham Watkins. And I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever. Didn't really give it too much thought. And then the pace started going at about the 22K mark, and Kieran's there with me, and then this other fella's there. I look around, I'm like, fucking hell, who's this? Like, there's been some good runners dropped behind us, and he was slogging away, and he was having a real dip. And I said, oh, aren't you 16? He's like, no, I'm 28. Like, what's your name? Oh, Pat. How much are you running? 60K a week. This is the longest run I've ever done. And I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty good. You'll come in handy at cross country this year.
Pat,
but I'm not going to allow.
I've seen this name before. This is the guy I was off the same mark as at Stall. I swear. Is he from Queensland?
Well, I think he trains in Geelong now.
Yeah, it says in his Strava, North Stradbroke Island, Queensland, Australia.
Bloke's never been to stall, but Brady just wanted to get a stall.
No, I didn't. I know I do that a lot, and they're usually pretty planned, but this one wasn't. When I looked at your Strava, I'm like, I know this name. Does he run pro stuff, Moose?
I don't know. We only had a slight chat.
He looks like it, yeah.
Neither of them could talk.
Yeah, both at 180.
At that point, when he told me he ran 60k a week and it's his longest long run, like I looked over at Kieran and I'm like, we're not allowing this bloke to hang with us for another 2 minutes. And so off I went, got a massive stitch, had to try to hold form into the cars so I could have a rest and a drink and get the heart rate down. And no, it was good for him. It was good. It was a good long run.
He's
quite fun out there.
3:58, 8:41, 15,
yeah, he
17.
goes all right. He goes a lot better than I thought. Yeah, he'll be good for Geelong this year.
Yeah, 35:15. That was about 10 years ago though. He'll be right. He'll be a good pickup for you guys, I reckon. Cat's on the recruiting.
If he keeps coming to long runs,
talent over the shorter distance.
Yeah, that'll make him. That'll make the shorter distance Geelong crew if they come down to our long runs. We've got to get them involved because that's where the athlete is built, isn't it? Well,
you put him into your Tan, you put him into your Sandown, your Giles Park, your Ekiden. Like he's going to get a start for the shorter races already.
You put a bit of a motivational quote up today, didn't you, on Instagram?
Last night, page I was reading in the book.
Yeah, big fan of that, were you?
Did you like that one?
I read it. I did like it.
Someone wrote back saying, is this directed at Croaks for World Cross Country participation race?
What was it like? Summarise it for me in 2 seconds.
Just having to go at people that basically sit back and criticise.
That's right, yeah.
Which I thought that's Moose to a T. I'm happy to sit on the couch and criticise.
What are you talking about?
Moose gets in the arena.
I'm invested in running, mate.
Do you want me to read it to you? I've got it open now.
Nah, don't. Please don't.
Okay. It was about people criticising from the cheap seats.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Although, just because you don't... I don't fully agree with it. You can be an excellent commentator and never been involved in that level of competition or being that committed as an athlete yourself. You can still commentate very well, and you can still call shit out that you see that others might not call out.
What kind of spoke about putting yourself on the line, like not necessarily in sport, but like whatever you're doing in life. It was talking about there was something there. I can't find the bit. People's only contributions are criticism, cynicism, and fear-mongering. If you're criticising from a place where you're not also putting yourself on the line, I'm not interested in what you have to say.
I understand if you're just sitting there taking pot shots.
Yeah.
But I think you can commentate, and if the commentary includes some criticism that may be valid, it might be a bit of a different situation than your
Had some big names right back to that actually. Some big Olympians, Australian record holders, Commonwealth Games gold medalists, preaching the same messages.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, which is good. Anyway.
Good for you, mate. Good little pump your tyres up.
Geez, people viewing these stories. Anyway.
110 for me, 1 month out.
Looking good. Looking real good. What do your weeks always take the longest?
Because I'm doing the best running.
Yeah, you're in the arena. I'll go quickly through mine. I ran 70 minutes on Monday at 4:44 pace, still not covering the ground well. And I was a bit concerned because I had that race Saturday night and I was shocking Sunday morning, and then Monday morning I was still shocking, like really sore. So I thought I'd better do something about this. So on Tuesday I put in a bit of time to do some activation stuff before I go out running, because I'm pretty slack at that. Like I'm pretty good at setting my alarm 30 minutes before I have to run, getting up, having a piece of toast, having a coffee, going to the toilet, being out the door 25 minutes later kind of thing, and just kind of using the warm-up to get activated, or the first couple of Ks. But it just wasn't working for me. Like I'd get 3 or 4 Ks into my easy jogs and still felt terrible. So I kind of got up a bit earlier, did some calf raises, some crab walks, I don't know what the other things are. Got the elastic band out, those things. Just kind of get a bit of activation going. And it makes a world of difference. Felt better the whole rest of the week after doing that on Tuesday morning for the first time. My workout on Tuesday was 30 minutes worth of threshold work. So I did a 10, an 8, a 6, a 4, and a 2 minute effort. I had 2 minutes jog after the 10 and the 8 and 90 seconds between the 6 and the 4 and the 4 and the 2. Averaged 3:14 pace, which is kind of what I've been hovering around for my threshold stuff the last couple of weeks. I like this workout because it gets shorter, so you kind of get the harder stuff out of the way early on. And I often give this to people to just check how their self-discipline goes. Like, because you can easily get to the 4 and the 2, and because they're shorter, kind of get out of your threshold zone and just start to absolutely murder the pace. But it's really good to because your heart rate's already high at that stage of the workout. And I just see it as a bit of a top-up, a few extra minutes of staying in your threshold zone there. So it's really good to see who sticks to their zone and who absolutely kicks that last 2 minutes home because they can. So a good little workout there. I introduced doubles, as I said I was going to do last week. So I got out for 25 minutes on the Tuesday afternoon at 4:46 pace. That was pretty hot, I reckon. 90 minutes on the Wednesday at 4:26s. I listened to this UK running podcast, another one. It was called Run It Three Ways. And it was weird. It was kind of exactly the same as our podcast to start off with. People recapping their weeks.
Sounds a bit kinkier than ours.
Yeah, nice name, isn't it? And I kind of put it in. I didn't have anything to listen to, so I thought I'll give this one a go. I'd kind of seen it floating around, and then 3 men recapping their running weeks to start off with.
Oh, even kinkier.
Yeah, and then one of them, Moose, gets to the end of his week and he starts saying how he's going to run a marathon in Japan with Mizuno as a bit of an influencer. And I'm like, we've got one of those guys on our show as well. I'm like,
you're 2:14 man?
Not a 2:14 man. I think he's maybe a 2:22, 2:23 man.
Oh boy.
They did reference our show later on in the podcast too. They were I went back and listened to their first episode that was where just after Valencia, and they're talking about Brett Robinson and Sinead Divers records and stuff. So I'm I felt like I'm living in a simulation. I know I've said this before on this show, but it was exactly the same podcast as ours. Similar, no moves on the loose, but they had running news and stuff. And yeah, they even had the same character with you on there. Big influencer, Mizuno man.
Let's hope they do a better job of copying our podcast than Inside Jogging does.
I was thinking, do you reckon we could start sending invoices out, just like a licensing fee to everyone who just recaps their training weeks on a running podcast?
I thought you might have copyrighted the template.
We should have, shouldn't we? You can't copy. Yeah. I don't think you can just copyright running news. But I think the Monday to Sunday, that was us. I know Marathon Talk used to just talk about their workouts, but I think we were the first ones to do Monday to Sunday. I'll get Zachar onto it. Just send it out to about 10 running podcasts that do the same thing.
Good banter.
Funny. It was pretty actually good. There's a Welsh guy on there who he sounds like he could fight, so we won't say too much about him. But I reckon he's represented UK. He's a pretty quick 1,500 metre guy. So yeah, they're pretty good. It's worth checking out if you're getting bored. Want something to listen to. Thursday, 70 minutes at 4:30s. Friday, I went to the track, the grass track, early morning. Because school went back, so I had to get going a bit earlier. So I got there, I think I got there at 6:30, maybe started the workout at 7ish, wasn't as early as you, Moose. Did 16 by 400 off 50 seconds for the first 12, and then I changed into spikes for the last 4, so it took me about 2 minutes to get into the spikes. I was really thinking, once I got to the spikes, it was going to be easy. I'll get that kind of bigger rest, and then the last 4 would feel good. But the last 4 felt terrible in the spikes. Back to that feeling when you haven't put spikes on for such a long time. Feels like you're running bare feet. You just get nothing out of the shoe. Me and spikes just don't get on real well. I averaged 71s. I was in those New Balance green ones for the first 12. Oval was real wet. It's a terrible oval. Holes everywhere. They've started chucking some sand down in lane 1 to kind of get the grass to regrow a bit. So if we apply the 2 second per lap tax, that's 16 400s in 69, which isn't a bad workout, boys. Could be going all right. Better than I thought. Don't know. Or it could be a short oval because I just got spray painted lines there and I'm really running 73s. Got no idea.
I'm not sure about grass ovals.
Yeah, this one. Well, it comes up right on 400 on the Coros, but you just get nothing from them. It's like running cross country.
Yeah, I mean, they're good for you, aren't they?
Well,
it's like...
Yeah, this one's right next to the footy oval. Right next to it is like different grass, and it's like they roll it and they mow it all the time, and it's like beautiful, but it doesn't have a line around the outside. So I'm like, do you think I should just just do reps on time based?
What you should do is
how do you know where you run it?
What you do is you just run around, and it doesn't matter if it's however long or whatever. You just do one lap. And if you're inside a little bit or outside a little bit, it doesn't matter. But
when you look up, where you just kind of just go wherever you think the line should be?
Well, you just aim to be like 1 to 2 meters inside the line, and you'll be fine.
Inside the fence.
Inside the fence.
Yeah, okay.
And it doesn't matter if it's a 480 meter rep one time or 470 the next time. You just run to what you think.
Because the effort's what matters, and that's what I'm kind of saying off this oval. Like the effort felt okay for me to do 16 by a lap of this grass oval. So yeah, I might test that out later in the week. Got out for 26 minutes in the afternoon after work, 4:36s. 70 minutes on Saturday morning. Had a listener, Patreon supporter in town. He was staying down at Moama Waters, Chris McTaggart. Kind of DM'd him a bit over the years, so it was good to meet him in person. Went for a 70-minute jog with him. Interesting fact, boys, he had a tattoo for every marathon he's completed. Pretty cool. I reckon he'd done at least 10. Like half his chest was just covered with like ink.
What are they? His times?
I don't think he had the times there, but he had like the logos of the marathon.
The logos?
Like the trademark, yeah. So like Boston, he'd have the Boston logo there, and then New York, and then he'd done all the marathon majors.
But don't logos change? Like, do you know what the Melbourne Marathon logo is?
Yeah. I don't think the big ones change, do they?
Well, I don't know. I
don't know if he bothers with races like Melbourne. He was just doing the big dog ones. Anyway, that was good to catch up with him. Then got out for 2 hours, 10 minutes, 4:16 average on Sunday. Was meant to meet a man. Got a message off a friend saying, hey, I've got another friend in town who wants to do 34K. His name's Darren. I said, cool. Tell Darren to meet me at Madison Spa Resort at 6:30am. Got there at 6:30am. Darren wasn't nowhere to be seen. Waited for him for about 15 minutes, just going up and down the road. Didn't appear. And then I had Glenn organised to meet at 7, so I went and met Glenn at 7. Still not sure where Darren is, but Glenn and I did a long run together, and it was good to get, a bit over 2 hours in the legs. Nice pace too, it was humid, not too hot though. Bit of Triple J Hottest 100 discussed there, and a few gambling hacks. Have you guys been keeping up to date with that $10 to $10,000 thing, the betting challenge?
No.
Oh, nah. Haven't seen that on Twitter? You would have seen that on Twitter, Moose. It's all big in the basketball world.
Nah.
Oh, so you put... What? It's real big. So you do basketball bets. So you put $10 on day one to win $20. So something that's paying $2 odds. And it might be I don't know, Kyrie Irving to get 2 3-pointers and somebody else to get X amount of points or whatever. And you put it together. And then on the next day, when you've got 10 to 20, then you put the 20 on to win 40. And then you go 40 to win 80 on day 3, 80 to win 160 on day 4. And if you pull it off 10 days in a row, it turns into $10,000. So Glenn and I were talking about how easy that's going to be. But have
you started?
We haven't been quite that successful yet.
Have you started?
I've started. I fell off the ladder day 3. But yeah, that's okay. Anyway, it's 140k week. Looking forward to Bathurst in a couple of weeks' time. Might go 5k Bendigo Frenzy next Friday night if things work out. Do that as a bit of a hard hit out just to sharpen up before Bathurst. See if we can break 16 minutes.
When's that? This Wednesday?
Nah, next Friday. Did I say Wednesday? Next Friday. Friday the 9th or something like that, I reckon it would be.
So it's the day after... so it's the week after Box Hill.
Yep. Box Hill burns this Thursday, isn't it? And then 5k Frenzy is the Friday night after. And then we go to Bathurst the Friday after that.
Yep, gotcha.
Yep, so I might roll around there. You know anyone racing? Toby going to race it?
Bendigo?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know anyone going.
Okay.
I've said, hey, go down there. It's a good event. And no takers.
It's a fair way from you, though. Geelong people.
Yeah.
Ballarat's not too bad.
It is. I think you offer people to stay at your parents' house, don't you?
That was when my parents were away for that weekend. Yeah, not just gonna do that this time. Anyway, Let's get through this, eh? Let's thank some Patreon supporters, Croaks, kick things off.
All right, I've got John Loftus this week. John lives over in the US, in California, near Santa Barbara. I've known John since 1999. He was over at Sydney University and we were at the same college together, St Andrews College. Went through a lot of the initiations together that you do as freshers, they call them. So one involved the seniors. So the freshers got auctioned off in groups of 3. And the seniors...
Is this a clean story?
Yeah, it's all right.
Cancelled for this.
So who's buying this? Like
Some
what?
Old professors or something, I reckon.
I don't understand it.
That's why I pulled him up here.
Yeah, so the senior students, so like the fourth and fifth years, so the first year students get auctioned off in groups of 3, and the seniors buy them.
Male and female.
Well, it was an all male college at that point. It's co-ed now.
Well, that's a good name for a podcast, Moose.
Yeah. Where's this going?
Yeah.
And so then the seniors, they then basically blindfold you, fill you full of alcohol, and then drop you wherever they want with whatever they want. So the only rules are they have to start a fire for you and they have to give you your doona. And so we got dropped halfway between Bathurst and Orange in the middle of winter. Wake up the next morning with a massive hangover. Don't know really where you are, so you find the closest road, hitchhike, and got to basically make your way home. So that was one of the initiations that I had to do with John. 1999. Yeah, it made the news a few years after. Like I reckon this stuff has definitely been cancelled since then. Anyway, fun fact, Dr. Chris Brown, the vet.
Yep, seen him on TV.
He was at the college at the same time.
Where did he get dropped off?
Well, I don't know. He was one of the seniors at the time.
Oh, he might get cancelled.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So anyway, back to his PBs for John. He's run 4:07 for 1500, 9:21 for 3K, 16:13 for 5, 33:42 for 10, 75:20 for the half, and 2:37 for the marathon. Recently stepped up and is doing more sort of 100-mile races. Also went to his wedding back in 2009, and that's the reason why I did that Prefontaine race over in Coos Bay, because I was over there for his wedding. He has a daughter and he's the Assistant Dean of Development at the Graduate Division at the University of California, Santa Barbara campus.
Jeez, what a bio.
Thanks for your support, John.
Good on you, John.
Beautiful place, Santa Barbara.
It is. Yeah, that's where he had his wedding, actually. He had his wedding at the university.
Nice, yeah. I ran the Santa Barbara Marathon one year.
Did you?
Yeah. They have, it's on, the day, Veterans Day or something. The day that, and they had they started the race with a flyover from fighter jets. Pretty cool.
Did you win?
I come second.
Okay.
Some Kenyan bloke from Texas won, but it wasn't very quick. It's a good race. Pretty hilly. Go up this massive hill near the cliffs. Did you run around there?
Did I?
Yeah.
So I was staying. So the campus is a bit out of Santa Barbara, so I was running around that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, full of beaches and stuff like that. And then we went for a drive because I met him a couple of weeks later down because I did a Santa Monica race, a 5K, and then he took me for a drive up around Malibu and that sort of area as well.
Yeah, super nice.
Who you got, Moose?
I got Nathan Conton from Ashwood in Victoria. So Nathan ran 21:35 at the Albert Parkrun earlier this year, 1:42 at last year's Burnley half, and 3:54 at the Melbourne Marathon. We reckon he runs for Malvern Harriers and has a photo on Strava of him walking a llama. You sure that's a llama or not an alpaca?
I think it's a llama.
Well, is it woolly?
I don't know. You have to go and check.
Oh, got the best children's book at home called Macca the Alpaca.
Oh, yeah. We've got that one as well.
How good is that book?
Yeah, they don't perform real well, do they?
You don't see photos on Strava that often, though, of people walking either llamas or alpacas.
No. That's good, though. I might get on in Strava, have a look. Pretty sure he has a master's degree in international finance from Deakin University and is the customer service operations manager at Adair's Retail Group. What sort of stores come under Adair's Retail Group, Croaks?
Oh, aren't they like home furnishing? Are they like home furnishing group, Adair's?
Yeah, but
Davies.
what else do they own? Is that what you're saying, Moose?
I'm thinking
It's
that.
like bed, bath, and homewares.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
If you're a retail group, wouldn't you own like a few?
Yeah, you ask them. Well, they're listed. What's their stock price? Theirs. Anyway, do you want me to thank our Patreon supporter?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, listed at $2.87, boys.
Is that higher or lower than Caitlin Adams?
Year to
share
date,
price?
they're up 25%. We should have
Oh,
bought.
that's about similar.
We should
Caitlin's
have-
up 25%.
We should have bought some on the first of the month. Anyway, I'm going to thank Paul McLaughlin from Ararat in Victoria. Estimated best 5K of 1940 and 10K of 42 minutes. He ran 95 minutes at both the 2022 Geelong Half Marathon and the 2021 Melbourne Half Marathon. Which course is easier, Moose? Melbourne or Geelong?
Melbourne.
Melbourne's easier than Geelong. You got to go over that hill at the end at Melbourne Half.
Geelong shit.
Yeah, twisting
No,
and turning.
it's not shit, but it's not as fast as Melbourne.
Yeah,
So
it's
his
not, it's not open roads,
2022
is it?
runs better than his 2021.
Yeah, on a harder course, so he's fitter. Lots of nature pictures on Strava. Think he is a teacher at McLaren College in Ararat, according to his LinkedIn. He has been there since 1998.
It's a long time.
A few years at the one school. You know, Ararat is Tomo, Mark Thompson. There's a teacher in Ararat as well. Wonder if he knows him. There you go. Good people in Ararat.
There's also like the sex prison there, sex criminal prison.
Is it?
Oh, massive! It's where they've got like.
How do you know this stuff?
Because I used to live in Ballarat, and often there would be like.
That rhymes with Ararat.
Yeah, they're nowhere near
What's
each
the
other, are they?
connection?
What are you talking about? They're close enough. And there's a place there called Village of the Damned, and it's where like all the, like the sexually perverted criminals live in a small community, where they're not allowed to leave, but they're also have finished their prison sentence. It's not talked about very often. Pretty scary shit there.
Okay,
A lot of
Moose.
the people in Ararat, like, they're
just leave it there.
associated. Yeah,
We're going to get cancelled, Moose?
How many dodgy things can we bring up in thanking three people for their support? Thank you to all our patrons, though, who support the Inside Rain podcast. We really appreciate your support. You keep the show alive. We're only up to episode 274 because of you guys. Some bonus content coming soon. Catching up with Toby and Christian sometime in Feb. So that's going to tick over in the next couple of days into Feb. And working on our new bonus series. Things are getting sorted. Been sending some messages. Got a few things brewing. There's things in the works there. So hang with us and you'll hear some more information about that coming up soon. The McLaren Vale Marathon will be run over the weekend of the 29th to the 30th of April. With a supporting half marathon, 10k, 5k and kids mile, there's a run for everyone. This destination race is run on the beautiful road courses throughout the Vines with the backdrop of the southern Mount Lofty Ranges. A strong field is expected for the half marathon with a prize pool of $6,500, including time bonuses for the race winners. The marathon also has a prize money of $3,000 up for grabs. Race weekend is hosted at the Richard Hamilton Wines, with plenty for the whole family to do, including outdoor movies, kids activities, markets, food trucks and award-winning wines to enjoy. As well as its world-class wineries, the McLaren Vale region boasts pristine beaches, fine dining, forests and trails, art galleries and other attractions to explore. Come for the run and experience much more. Head to mclarenvalemarathon.com.au for the race information and to register. Check this week's show notes for a 20% listener discount code and we'll see you at the start line. Let's go to running news, boys. Big news today, 12:35 p.m. it was on Athletes Australia. They held like a press conference. Never seen this before. Facebook Live, Instagram Live, whatever it was, YouTube Live. You could watch them announce the team, which I thought was pretty good. Stewie and Jess Hull were there, alongside a few other athletes, a few juniors, a few masters, and a few members of Parliament as well, doing speeches about how important it is that the World Cross Country Championships are coming to Australia. The women's team got named, and it was the 6 from the trials. So Rose Davies, Leanne Pompeani, Caitlin Adams, Izzy Bat-Doyle, Holly Campbell and Ali Pashley are our 6 there. And the men was the top 5 from the trials. So it was Jack Rayner, Matthew Ramsden, Brett Robinson, Rory Hunter, Annie Buchanan, and Kai Robinson came in for Jackson Sharp, who was 6 at the trials. So Kai getting that discretion spot over him there. Any surprises, boys, before I go and talk about the relays and the under-20s?
I can see why the selectors brought in Kai if, obviously you put in for discretion. But I also would have been happy if they had chosen Jackson, given that he wasn't that far behind Rory, Andy, wasn't that far behind Kai at the NCAA cross, but did make the effort to turn up to the trial. So a bit disappointed for Jackson in this case.
He was listed emergency, do you know, or can he run? And if you are listed emergency, can you run the golden ticket race and then get your spot, or do they want you to be on the sidelines as emergency?
Well, I'm guessing, given that Jackson's over in college, he's probably not hanging around for that. I don't know. I'm guessing he would have gone back, though.
No, he ran a 3:55.
He did on the weekend. He raced over there.
3:57, sorry, indoor mile.
Yeah, so, and obviously there was talk about Pat Tiernan, and so I'm guessing he pulled out, something to do maybe with his visa or whatever, but I'm sure if Pat wanted to run and was healthy, they would have found a spot for him as well, but he obviously didn't want the discretion in the end, or didn't want to be on the team.
Yeah, because you don't know, do you? You just get these names here, not knowing who applied for discretion and got kicked out.
100. Yeah, but if Pat was fit, healthy, and wanted to run and could get over here with his visa, they would have put him in the team. Sure.
I believe he withdrew his nomination.
Yeah, okay. And the women's team, do you think there was any discretion conversations there, or they just, the top 6 were there and there was nothing to talk about?
There wasn't.
Wasn't, okay.
Pashley would like me to remind Croaks of his prediction that she wouldn't make the team as well. The week before the race.
Just loves slagging off people on this show, doesn't he? Caitlin Adams also wanted me to remind him of his consistency over her races.
Talk of that chapter from that book, not bad from you here.
Yeah.
Taking pot shots.
Did Ellie also tell you how vocal I was on the sidelines cheering for her compared to maybe some of the other girls?
She didn't actually say anything to me. That was my little reminder. That was my reminder.
They did an article on her. I haven't read it yet. Just saw the headline before we got on air. Because 7 months is a short turnaround from having a baby to making a world champs team.
And
obviously you've had a bit to play in that, Moose. But yeah, it's a hard thing to do.
Well, we train well down here, mate. We got it's hard blue collar stuff. Perfect for cross country. Perfect for marathoning.
Here you go then. She was 6th at the trials. Where will she be amongst the Australians at the race? She gets an extra month training under her belt.
I think 4th.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, a few of those ladies will be worried about her coming through.
4th or 3rd, that's my call. And that's actually one of the, that would be a good goal to have, I reckon. If all the girls are fighting to be the best Aussie, then they're going to run well, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think the tough course will suit Ellie a bit more than maybe some of the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Suit a marathoner. Is it a shame that in our open races we don't have... I know it's hard for them to get there, and we just talked about, the likes of Pat Tiernan, Jess Stenson, Sinead Diver, 3 of our kind of headliner names not going to be involved in the championships.
There's always going to be
and the way to generate hype and press.
Yeah, but there's always going to be people that miss out or don't show up. Always, no matter what event or race it is, put an AFL grand final on, chances are there's going to be some stars missing from either team. It just
true.
how it rolls, and you can't always have everyone in top shape ready to go at the perfect time. It's part and parcel. Our sport's way more susceptible to injury or to not being in the right sort of cycle, I guess, or with other races around it. I still think it's a pretty solid team, men's and women's, that we got.
So do I. And the relay's the most solid out of all of it. Stuart McSwain, Abby Caldwell, Ollie Hoare, Jess Hull. What colour's the medal going to be, boys?
Need to see the other teams.
I reckon it'd be gold.
Really?
I do. I think they're going to come across like some teams that aren't their strongest.
I'm going to put us on the podium.
Who beats us?
Well, that's why I need to see the team.
Yeah, but you look at, say, the US trials. That was a week,
Yeah, so their 1,500 metre guys aren't coming down to do this.
Nah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
It was a week kind of trials. Like, in the ladies' race, I didn't really recognise anybody. Maybe a couple of names.
Well, let's put a line through Uganda. They don't have the 1,500 metre runners like Kenya and Ethiopia do.
Don't they have the women's 800? I thought she won the world champs at Doha, women's 800.
Okay. I could have said that statement without doing any research. But, yeah, I think Kenya could potentially, but I don't think... Like, if they put Kepiegon, Chariot, what's his name, the 1,500 metre guy as well, Kipsang, and I'm sure they've got another amazing female 1,500 metre runner. I just can't see them coming or wanting to come in Feb to Australia.
And that's the problem, I think, with like having World Cross down here is that for some countries, you know, it's not a major priority, and particularly the relay. Like some countries won't care about a relay. Like you know, the cross country traditionalists would probably believe that it should just be the men's and women's 10K races and not a relay, because you know the relay is relatively new when it comes to World Cross.
Do you win good prize money, Crooks?
What was that? Do you win prize money?
Yeah, you would, but do you know what it is?
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is.
Because remember, it was always when they went to the World... remember when they used to go to the World Relay Championships? That would always pay well.
But we didn't have a relay team at the last World Cross, did we?
I don't think there was one, was there?
So, like...
Was there a team?
Yeah, well, there would have been a relay.
Oh, yeah, $12,000 in 2019 for the mixed relay team.
Yeah, okay.
30,000 to win the individual race.
So, like, Australia didn't prioritise the relay back in the last World Cross.
Yeah.
So some countries, depending on, I guess, various factors, will either think it's worth sending a team or won't bother.
Including budget.
Yeah, budget, that's what I was going to say. Like, if they don't think they can medal, I don't think they're sending teams down to Australia. Especially it's flights and accommodation, expensive stuff.
I can't see that team not getting a medal, though.
Yeah, it's a good team. It's a good team.
Do we know the order of the relay yet?
I think they can go in any order they want.
Yeah, they pick the order, and
which is awesome. Like, that's really exciting to watch because you know you have say you have Stewie and Ollie go first. You have this massive lead over some of the countries that put their women first, and then it's just like, are the girls going to hang on?
I think he was saying on his podcast though, Ollie, that they're different distances. Like you can go a bit further if you do certain legs. I don't know how that works if it's 4x2K, but he was saying it. They could milk a bit more, maybe in the changeover zone or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. Who would you put last? Caldwell, best tactician out of the four of them. Doesn't lose, does she?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which order you go.
Hard to go past her.
No idea either.
Put Ollie Hoare, actually. Maybe, I don't know. Men's under 20, Logan Janetsky. Spoke about him last week. Archie Noakes, Jack Coomer, Carl Mulholland, Kyron Rushton and Bailey Habler. Women, Amy Bunnage, Gabrielle Schmidt, Gabrielle Vincent, Aspen Anderson, Claudia Mika, and Fiki van der Kamp. So full teams. It's good to see them sending it. Strong. I don't know a lot about junior running, but I have seen Logan, Archie and Carl's name pop up over the years. So I expect they're going to be pretty strong there as well. Hard competition though, isn't it, junior races? The Africans are deep. Yes.
Yeah, and we'll have a few interviews coming up, Brady, because I know a few weeks ago we spoke about trying to get maybe some of the lesser-known athletes on for a chat. So I know I've teed up Holly Campbell and Rory Hunter to chat over the next week or two. I guess basically the people that we haven't had on before, really, to find a bit about their running story, because it'll make it, better for the spectators to, know a bit about them when they're cheering for them in Bathurst.
Yeah, or from the TVs. SBS, I think, is going to have it on live. Vic Miles climbed a result Moose. Seeing this on the stream Tuesday night, which was rare, but I guess Australia Day was Thursday.
Yeah, I logged in a little late. I think what did I miss? I think I missed the women's A race, and I just got the men's, perhaps even just like the last 2 laps or something. So in the 800s, excuse me, Riley McGowan won 148.87. Wow, this would have been right on the line. Beat Jamie Harrison 148.88. So 1/100th of a second. Harrison May was in third, 150.53. In the ladies, Ali Sanford, easy winner, 2:02 over Morgan Mitchell, 2:06, and Isabel Scott in 2:06 also. Then we go to the men's 15, which was a huge result because we saw Ryan Gregson's under 18 Australian record was smashed by 2 seconds, over 2 seconds. Cam Myers ran 3:40.6 and won the race, beating Matt Clark 3:42.56, and Jared Clifford was third, 3:42.81. So I think I turned it on with maybe 600 to go, and it's the same story played out.
He hasn't lost this season.
Wow, and he runs open, and he's 17. Is that right?
16. Turns 17 in June.
And he's had a few. Yeah. He's had 4 or 5 races too, hasn't he?
Yeah. So he won the New South Wales 3K, won the National Mile, won this one. So he's... Zatopek 3K, yep. So, and I believe he was going to do World Cross Trials in the juniors, but I think he had a few sort of Achilles issues at the time. So he's a guy that would be super exciting to see running cross, but I think for his the remainder of his track season, skipping World Cross and maybe becoming the youngest person to break the 4-minute mile, assuming you can find a mile somewhere, would be pretty cool. So I think Jakob has that record at the moment.
Interesting. Yeah, real good. It's exciting. You don't want to get too overboard about a junior, do you? It's a bit of a balancing act. Like, let's get excited for the boy, but let's not go and say he's the next Craig Mottram, and then we follow every single one of his races and dissect them. So it's nice that he's running well, but yeah, just let him be a kid still. Women's, Jayla Hancock Cameron won in 4:12, so real solid win. 4 seconds in front of Georgia Hansen, 4:16, and Cleo Richardson, 4:28. So good from Jayla.
Pretty solid results on a Tuesday night. Croaks, ACT champs. Did you get down there?
No, I didn't end up going. Because it's like the 800 is on the Friday night and the 1500's on the Saturday night. And so it's like you're there for basically 10 minutes worth. It's like, I can just watch the live stream. So, in the 800 on the Friday night, Lockie Raper, he ran 146.45. It was a significant PB for him and moved him to 29th fastest Aussie of all time. He beat youngster Luke Boyes, 146.69, and that put him 39th fastest all time. And Riley McGowan was third in 147.19. Killy Small won the women's, 206.12. Fleur Cooper was second, 207, and Davina Smith was third in 208. And then on the Saturday, the 1500s, in the men's, Stefan Music, he was first, 350.06, beat Ben Thomas, 350.26, and Michael Roger was third in 350.78. So pretty close race there. In the women's, Morty Skyring was first in 4:18. Georgia Whincup second, 4:20, and Rachel McCormick was third in 4:23. So that was pretty much wraps up the domestic racing for last week. Over in the US, there was some really quick indoor races. So at the Boston University John Thomas Terrier Classic, the American 5K record went down. So Woody Kincaid won the race in 12:51 to break Grant Fisher's US record by 2 seconds and become the 4th fastest all time. And Joe Klecker, who is part of the On group with Ollie Hoare over there, he ran 12:54, which put him as the 3rd fastest US runner of all time indoors and 7th fastest of all time. So pretty solid running there, boys. The 13-minute barrier doesn't seem to be much of a barrier anymore for these boys.
Yeah, we've got to get some of these on spikes, I reckon, Moose.
They're coming, mate.
Are they?
Yeah, we'll have them in about July, so pretty excited about that.
My man Dathan reckons they're the best on the market.
Yeah, well, he would. He's quite biased.
I believe Ollie paced that 5K.
He paced the 4K too, didn't he? Like he nearly went the whole way, yeah.
And then in the 3K, and just for some context, so the world record for the indoor 5K is 12:49, set back in 2004 by Bekele. And then the 3K, the world record set back in 1998, Daniel Coleman, 7:24, that's indoors. Yared Nuguse, he broke the US record. So this is the fastest time ever by a US athlete, indoor or outdoor. He ran 7:28.24. Becoming the 9th fastest all-time indoor 3K runner. And Sam Atkins, he ran 7:31 to break Mo Farah's British indoor record. So some quick times over there.
It's something to do with the track though, isn't it? Doesn't the track have like performance-enhancing benefits?
Yeah.
The way it's like banked? Because they run fast there every year.
No wind, I guess. Perfect weather conditions.
No wind.
They calling it the super track, I think.
Sean Whip did put something on his Instagram story explaining it, but I can't find it. It's gone. It's disappeared. But yeah, incredible. Did you see the workout that they did? That on group?
The mile.
Yeah,
and then 3x2K, and then some 200s afterwards
at altitude.
Yeah, I think six of them broke 4 minutes for the mile at altitude in a training at the start of a training session.
Yeah, crazy. New Zealand, they had their mile champs. Sam Tanner, he got the win in 3:54, so quick there. Callum Davies, the Australian, was second in 3:56, and Jude Thomas was third, also Australian, 3:58, so that's why that's in there. And Georgia Griffith went over, and she won the women's section, the mile, in 4:30, with Sarah Billings second there. So, do you reckon did you see any footage? Have they got pacemakers to be running these kind of times? Which would surprise me if they're championship races.
I'm not sure. I know Rod Dixon was commentating though.
Was he? Dixon?
Yeah, Dixon, yeah. But yeah, I think Tanner had like an extra gear, but I'm guessing it would have been paced to running that.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon after this next year you'll see some people fly over for that, just if this is going to be the norm, running that fast.
Yeah, somewhere to go to run sub 4. Well, I just quickly found some of these results off Sean Whip. He put these on Twitter. Because sub 4 isn't even a thing anymore. Listen to these names. These are some NCAA results. Jess Hunt ran 3:57.4. Jackson Sharp, we spoke about him before. He ran 3:57.4 over the weekend. Sam Field ran 4:98. Izzy Thornton-Bott she's the Australian mile champion. She ran 4:34. And then Kai Robinson did a 3K in 7:49.7. So, can you imagine being a 17, 18-year-old kid these days? Mm-hmm. This guy, Jess Hunt, I have never heard of him in my life. He's an Australian and he's ran 3:57. You guys heard of him?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. I'm just this is the world we're living in. Anyway, and you see that video of that Washington? Was there 8 of them or 6 of them that broke 4 minutes in the one race from the same university?
Yeah, Washington University, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or University of Washington. Yeah.
I think their 5th guy ran something like 3:58, and he won't make their 4x15 relay team.
I think that's where Ed Trippitt is at the moment.
Yeah.
The Aussie steepler.
He was actually in these results, and because he'd ran something like 4:03, I didn't even include him because I'm like, mate, we're talking about people going quicker than 4 minutes here or 4 flat. It's ridiculous the amount of talent that's getting around at the moment worldwide. Yeah, he ran 4:02.8. Anyway, boys, listen to question, Croaks.
All right. Any tips for tall runners? I'm 6'4" and 94 kilos and feel real slow and fat compared to the little blokes. That comes in from Andrew Price.
This is a terrible question. I cannot answer this at all. I've got nothing to add. So rule me out. You're the same, Craig. You're tiny and skinny.
Yeah, but I guess as a coach though, like let's change it to tall and like just bigger runners. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I find if I'm coaching bigger guys and I look at the calculators, what they can run for say 5 or 10K, and they've done like, the standard sort of marathon block, they generally don't convert quite as well at the marathon. And
I get the opposite results.
Do you?
That's quite funny. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was trying to think because they're obviously often the bigger guys are out there for a little bit longer. There's a bit more, I guess, load, that constant pounding on the ground, like maybe doing more damage to their muscles than the smaller guys. But I think it's an interesting question because I reckon there's a lot of bigger guys out there that don't convert so well from the shorter stuff to the longer stuff and what they could do to maybe improve it. So Moose, you're the big spike.
I'm thinking of the two main bigger guys that I know that are kind of like that tall and carry a little bit extra.
Like close to, like we're talking like 90 plus kilos, 90 to 100?
Yep. And all three of them have a better marathon than they do other distances, like significantly better. And they put they're in the calculator and they're looking a lot better if you just took their marathon time than their shorter distance. But I think it's because their physiology, like internally, suits that. Maybe not their physical characteristics, like they're big and they're tall, but they're just engines, proper engines.
I reckon those guys would be in the minority though.
Well, they're all I've got to go off.
Yeah.
Those three.
And Moose, you're the same.
Well, I'm a
bit
bit
bigger the
bigger
better
than
your P's are.
Yeah, but I'm still like 70 kilos. We're talking another 24 kilos on top of that. That's a fair bit.
I'm a little and can't run marathons. All the evidence is stacking the other way, Croaks.
Yeah, I don't know about this for you, Croaks.
Yeah.
What's your advice then, Moose, for big, because they're generally out there longer, but you can't, let's say we're talking like 4-hour marathoners. Well, you can't get them out there running close to 4 hours every Sunday.
But that's the same advice I'd give to someone who's 50 kilos and out there for 4 hours. Like I say, yes, their nutritional requirements are different. So you could probably break this down and go, all right, forget the 6'4" thing. Like 94 kegs, you're going to need more calories. So you can handle more calories as well, which is a positive, I guess. But you're going to churn through more, and you're going to need, let's just say, instead of 2 gels, you could probably handle 3 gels an hour versus someone who weighs 50 kilos who's going to be struggling at 2 gels an hour. So nutritionally, you need to take on more. You do have more surface area, so you'll heat up more. That is one issue that you might struggle with in the heat, no doubt about that. But from a footwear perspective, it's kind of the only other thing I've got to go off, is you probably need more shoe underfoot. Like 94 kilos of force is significant when you compare it to 50 kilos going through a shoe. So bigger shoes, perhaps a little bit stiffer, perhaps a little bit denser foam. I'd make allowances for that.
I like that point about the nutrition, Moose. Because I reckon a lot of people, would just go, the smaller guys do, a gel every 7K sort of thing. But somebody who's closer to 100 kilos, is obviously going to be chewing through a lot more, and maybe that's why they fade a little bit more over the back end.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps they do just heat up more. I know in the heat, there's studies showing. I was concerned about this, but there was studies showing that bigger bodies and bigger frames have much harder time regulating their heat than smaller bodies.
Yeah. So it's a good question. I reckon there's some issues there to discuss. So that's good.
Yeah, you guys started that well.
There's probably some biomechanical stuff we could offer. I just don't know it.
Yep.
Moose on the loose, purchase of the week. What do you got, Moose?
We're getting closer towards the gender issues in sport, aren't we? We're getting closer to have a good conversation on here. You boys doing your research on it so that when we do it, it's very concise.
What are you talking about exactly, Moose?
We'll need a few weeks' notice there.
We need a few weeks' notice. The transgender stuff. So, I identify as a woman. I'm going to race as a woman, but I'm also a 25K guy 3 years ago kind of thing. It's like at the World Athletics, there was articles, I didn't actually read them, but I saw that it's getting a little bit more regulated, and not regulated as in like tighter restrictions, but I think they're going to be being a little bit more liberal with allowing, I don't even know how to put it. I've probably got to do. It's really tough. Like, you remember Cara Goucher called, what was her name? What's the Nikki Hiltz? Yeah. So Nikki Hiltz running in the women's 1500 meters at the US champs. So it's like and she said something like, "Oh, the lady's coming around the corner, and here comes Nikki Hiltz. She's looking good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's the ladies 1500. What else are you going to say?" But Nikki Hiltz, pretty much, Cara Goucher apologised afterwards profusely, said she was very upset, which was cool. But hold on a second, it was the ladies 1500 metres. So it's pretty hard to have a crack at a commentator for not knowing exactly what pronoun you are in the middle of a high energy race call when there's 20 other ladies around. We won't go there yet, because I think there's a lot more significant implications of this for women's sport when they actually do start making the calls on what's allowed and what isn't. I think they're going through a tough time. A lot of the sporting bodies at the moment trying to find a safe space for everyone to compete in. Did you read the recent articles, Brady or Brad, about this?
No, I haven't. I've seen them they're popping up and stuff, but I haven't gone that deep yet. I know that, is it Mara Yaragauchi, the UK commentator,
outspoken about it.
Second fastest UK or third fastest UK marathoner of all time. I know I've seen her writing letters and stuff to the athletic bodies, but I haven't looked into it enough to comment on it at this stage.
But there's a lot of athletes, I think, out there who have very strong feelings about it, but they're not quite ready to come out and say, you can't allow this. This is ridiculous. You're going to kill women's sport, because they'll be written off and cancelled quite quickly as transphobic or politically incorrect.
And we'll probably be cancelled as well if we go too deep on it, Moose.
Well, we're making sure not to get cancelled as we speak, Brad.
I don't think I've said the word cancelled ever on this show in 274 episodes. We said it 5 times tonight.
But let's just wait and see, because let's just see. We'll just watch this space. But my moose on the loose here, right? At least 5 times I had a discussion with a parent at the country championships who was buying spike pins for their kid, who was, 12, 13 years old. Keep in mind we're at the country champs, and they're 12 and 13 years old. And I was selling 6 mil spike pins, which is, most tracks, not allowed 7 mil or higher. So I'm like, yeah, sure, 6 mil, perfect. Could have written on him 7 mil, could have written 8 mil. No one's going to fucking know. We're talking about 1 mil. And the amount of fucking arguments I got in with people who said, "Oh, we're looking for 7. Sorry, I don't want them." I'm like, yeah, these are 6. No one will know. Seriously, you take 3 steps in a 7 mil spike pin, it's going to be 6. Then it'll be 5, 3 steps later after that. Yet we're taking this so seriously that someone would go out there and refuse to buy 6 mil spike pins when they needed spikes because someone told them that 7 mil's what they want and are going to be better for their kid. Oh, in the end, I'm just laughing. I'm just like, you're fucking kidding me, aren't you? Get a ruler out, draw a line 7 mil, then draw a 6 mil line next to it and tell me the difference. And then explain to me how a difference in spike pin, that 6 versus 7 is going to help your kid go from 7th to 6th in the kids 1500 meter later today. And they're coming to someone, clearly, I'm selling shoes. I've kind of been around shoes for a while, yet they don't fucking listen. It's like, no, my friend who came 3rd at the regional meet the other day told me that I need to be in 7 mil. I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you 6 mil will be fine. No. Her coach, who did level 1 coaching certificate last year, told her 7 mil.
Yeah. Almost. My mate who won the local parkrun this week in 1950 told me I needed these spikes.
Yeah.
Is that when you drop? I ran 2:14. I went to the world champs.
Yeah, do people recognise your moves?
No one.
Surely.
Of course. And I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying.
I thought that's why you were there, to get recognised.
I'm talking with I thought I was pretty confident saying 6 mil will be fine, 7 mil no difference. And it's like, they're $10. I don't give a fuck if you buy them. I'm just being honest. I'm saying no one's going to care. Your daughter won't know. Your son, he'll screw them in. He'll probably fucking strip the screw anyway. You don't know what he's doing.
You could go a lot deeper on this topic, Moose, in terms of seriousness of kids' sport at that age, country champs. Yeah. And actually, we do have a listener question, which might put in next week. It's about if our kids, get into running and our advice and how we're going to approach it. And it's sort of similar to this, how many of these kids that, the parents that you're talking to over the weekend, Moose, they won't be running in 4 years' time, 5 years' time.
Mate, there's a training group that was in Geelong, junior group, and they had, I reckon there would have been about 5 to 10 national champions, whether it was cross country, 15, 800, all juniors. Not a single one of those kids run anymore. Not a single one, and they're only early 20s right now.
Well, my 2 brothers did little A's. I never did, and I'm the only one that ever ran. So. Yeah. Yeah. I was in a tent next to Louis Rowan, and we had a good chat about that. Exactly this, saying he started running when he was 19. So I was similar, 17, 18.
Yeah. He said his theory was you got 5 to 7 good years of athletics, of good hard training and racing, and you shouldn't fucking waste that when you're 14 to 19. You should be using those hard years when you're a bit older, when you can take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
very true.
Fellas. Good work. All right, that's it. What's coming up? We've got Shoe Geeks coming out this week, Moose. You caught up with some big dogs from the
that was good. You have a listen?
Yeah, I had a listen to it Friday night when I was jogging, actually. Yep, enjoyed it. Well, it's nerdy, but I enjoyed how you tried to how you made it work, I guess. It's hard to do, interviewing people where their second language is English. But there was some good jokes in there, some good chemistry, I thought.
Yeah,
these are the two big dogs from Mizuno in Japan. Do you know their names off the top of your head?
Shunzuki Ayato. Well, he's a proper big dog. He just said, I don't design. I tell them what to do. Yeah, basically.
He said that in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, I love that. He's like, I'm the king here.
Yeah.
And then Susan, forget her surname, but she has been in charge of the Mizuno Rider and Mizuno Inspire projects, and these guys are nailing it right now. So they're clearly getting something right. They know what they're doing.
That's it. What do you got coming up, Croaks?
A couple of sessions with the group tomorrow afternoon and Friday morning, and then just organising an interview with Holly Campbell actually later in the week.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to record next weekend.
Oh, that'd be good. Moose, what do you got coming up?
What have I got? No, just another week on the track this week, and then I've got to enter that race that we're doing, the golden ticket race.
So do you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll do that. How about who's got the card? Someone just enter us all together.
I've already entered.
Yeah, Croaks, put it on the card, mate.
No, I need mine put on the card too.
No. You've gone early. Croaks, we'll sort it out later.
You told me today you were entering, so it made me enter. I'll save the card for the beers at Bathurst, Croaks, I reckon. What do we got? Are we doing anything up there, you reckon?
Not at this
Do a
stage.
shakeout, do a live show, do something we could.
Maybe a shakeout. I don't think we've got time for a live show.
Yeah, I reckon maybe something Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. What time? Oh, yeah, because it starts pretty early.
Is there a Bathurst park run? See if you can find someone down there, Croaks.
Oh, yeah. Because the main World Champs stuff starts about 2:30 in the afternoon. There's like Masters relays and stuff and club relays and all that on the Saturday morning. But a lot of people will be there to run on the Sunday, either in the World Masters or the just mass participation run. So you could easily do like an easy Saturday morning, like at the park run or just meet somewhere for a run.
If you're not going to do the golden ticket race, can you go break the Bathurst parkrun course record?
I'll make sure I'm on the front line.
15:36. That's your options. You can do the golden ticket race on the Friday, or you can do this on the Saturday morning.
And then
we'll get a crowd there for him. Yeah. We'll get a crowd down there.
Otherwise, there's got to be some kind of punishment moose if he's not going to do one of these two things.
Yeah, maybe he can just be buying the beers all weekend.
Yeah, something like that.
On the card.
On your personal card. All right, boys, I'm done stopping this. See us next week. Thanks for listening, legends. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Whether you're a first timer looking for a PB or gunning for the podium, the Richard Hamilton Wines McLaren Vale Marathon is the run for you this April. South Australia's favourite destination race will not disappoint. Register today at mclarenvalemarathon.com.au.